Welcome back everyone, Mariah here, and in today's video we're going over the price of Bitcoin and a handful of other cryptocurrencies. What we're going to be doing today is something that I haven't done in most of my previous videos, and we are going to zoom all the way out to the monthly chart to get a better look at Bitcoin. When in doubt, zoom out, okay? That is something that I've been hearing constantly, so let's go ahead and do that today. And I'm also going to be putting in some buy orders actually. So I'm going to be showing you exactly where I'm going to be placing those buy orders for Bitcoin. So let's get into it. It's Saturday morning here, 8:45 a.m. Eastern time. The price of Bitcoin's rallied a tiny bit, 34,574. That is a good sign. So let's go ahead and zoom out to the 1 month chart on Bitcoin. So you can see here on the monthly chart that what we don't want to see is Bitcoin break below the low of June. So the low of June is 28,600. We don't want to see that happen. The good news here is that these candles are being held up nicely by this moving average. And so they've wicked below the moving average, but the body of the candle has stayed above the moving average, which is a good sign. What we might anticipate is, maybe like a 4 candle pullback and then possibly maybe all-time highs by the end of the year. I'm not sure. It's always a possibility, but that is something that you want to keep in mind. Let's go ahead and take a look at the monthly chart from back in 2017 and see if we can see some similarities there. One thing that we did see on the monthly chart was Bitcoin actually topped on a 9, which is really interesting. And, it pulled back quite a bit. And as you can see here, it was held up also by the same moving average. And it just continued every month, was lower and lower until March of 19. And then we saw a bit of a pump. And then we kind of had about, that sort of double bottom with the whole March 2020 situation. So let's see, do these look like two similar situations? They partially do, but time will tell. For me, there's still not a ton of clarity on Bitcoin, so we just have to be patient and see what happens. Let's go and take a look at the weekly chart of Bitcoin and see how things are going here. So we have fallen below all of these moving averages. There's not really much support, and the weekly chart looks quite ugly with 0 signs of Bitcoin reversing and changing momentum. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the daily chart of Bitcoin. So we don't want to see this red 2 trade below the red 1. The bottom of this candle right here is 32,700. So we want Bitcoin to stay above that. I also think that Bitcoin is going to have a really hard time getting over this 50 DMA, this red line right here, which currently sits at about 36,600. So I'm still anticipating Bitcoin to make a lower low on the daily chart, but of course, time will tell. Let's see here. The 12-hour chart is looking okay, and I like this higher low right here. This is promising, but what we do need Bitcoin to do on the 12-hour chart is get above the high of this candle, 36,623. And if we get above that level, I think that'd be a really positive sign for Bitcoin. But as you can see here, there's this 50 DMA that's getting really close to that range that could potentially be a big level of resistance for Bitcoin. 4-hour chart looking okay, but not a ton of conviction. We need to make a higher high. So once again, we need to get over 36,000. So getting over 36,600 is a key level for Bitcoin. In a combination of closing above the 50 DMA on the daily chart. That's kind of what I'm looking for. The 1-hour chart looks actually pretty darn good on Bitcoin. So I'm anticipating maybe, another hour or two of upside, and then maybe 1 to 4 candle pullback. That's what we've been seeing right here. 5 candle pullback, 2 candle pullback, 4 candle pullback, maybe a 1 to 4 candle pullback, and then some more room to the upside. So the weekend actually is looking better than I would have anticipated for Bitcoin. 30-minute chart here, trading sideways here, but making higher highs and higher lows. So that is a good sign there. Let's go ahead and zoom all the way in on the 5-minute chart of Bitcoin. Let's see here. 5-minute chart is looking okay. So we've made a higher high and we have made a higher low, and we just want to make sure the Bitcoin stays above the low of this candle, which is 34,436. So let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum. And it looks like most coins are up about 2 to 6% today. Celsius is up 8.92%. So let's see, that's not what I meant to click. That is cake. That is not Celsius. Where did Celsius go on my chart here? Right here. Celsius at $6.74. So Celsius has had a big morning, actually. So since 8 a.m., Celsius is up, let's see here, approximately 5.5%. So a really strong morning here for Celsius. And as we know, Celsius tends to do quite a bit better than most other altcoins. It usually doesn't fall quite as much from a percentage perspective as other coins. So let's go ahead and take a look over at Ethereum on the daily chart. Ethereum on the daily chart is looking okay. In my opinion, it's looking slightly stronger than Bitcoin as this green moving average has crossed over the red. We could probably still anticipate some resistance here at about 2463 or wherever this 50 DMA is. So today it's at 2463, but this 50 DMA is going to continue to decline, and I anticipate that to act as resistance for Ethereum. So the 12-hour chart here could start looking really good on Ethereum if we can make a higher high. So if Ethereum can go above 2293 and make a higher high, that would be a bullish sign for Ethereum. Let's go ahead and take a look at gold, which is something that I actually don't look at very frequently, but let's see what the charts are showing us. So chart is looking okay as we've actually made a bit of a higher high. If we called this a high and this a low, gold actually made a higher high yesterday. Let's take a look at the 12-hour chart. 12-hour chart actually looks really great on gold as first we saw this green 2 trading above the green 1, then we saw the green 3 trading above the green 2, both really bullish signs to get in. But I would anticipate some resistance over here at about 1826 on the price of gold. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 4-hour chart of gold. 4-hour chart is looking okay, but we would definitely want to see it get above the high of this particular candle right here. Excuse me. How did I get on Monero all of a sudden? Okay, back to gold on the 4-hour chart. Okay, there we go. So the 4-hour chart of gold looks actually quite strong as it's making a higher high, showing a lot of strength since about June 29th and 30th. So let's go ahead and look at it from a percentage point of view of how much it's up since the 29th approximately. So gold is up about 2.5% from the 29th of June. Hourly chart is also looking pretty good. We want to see gold make a higher high, so we want to see it go above the high of this particular candle right here, which is 1795. So we want to keep an eye on that next week. Let's go ahead and take a look at, let's take a look at matic. So matic up about 2% today, and 1-hour chart looks excellent. If it continues to make higher highs and higher lows, matic is looking really good. The daily chart is still looking pretty tough. Bit of a doji candle here, which is a sign of being indecisive. So something to keep an eye on there. All right, so it's time to do what I've been talking about doing in my previous video, something that I was just giving you an idea of potentially doing, and that's setting some pretty low buy orders. So I'm still anticipating Bitcoin to hit somewhere between $18,000 and $23,000. So if you watched my previous video, you know that I sold 2 Bitcoin. I sold those Bitcoin because I wanted to protect myself from the downside when it came to my loans that are in Nexo, right? I have a big loan out in Nexo. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be setting some buy orders for Bitcoin pretty low, and I'm going to be staggering them out. So this is going to be a bit of a process, but I'm using Gemini. I like Gemini because I just started using them more than I was before. I personally like the Coinbase interface better, but if you want to support my channel, I have links down below for both Gemini and Coinbase so you could start. And I believe if you deposit $100, we each get 10. So one way to support my channel. Thank you for everyone who always uses the referral links. So sold 2 Bitcoin, so I have some money in here to use. when it comes to purchases here on Gemini. So what I'm gonna be doing is doing a limit order. You can see buy right here, and the fee I believe is 0.35% on Gemini, so it's actually a bit lower than Coinbase. Coinbase starts at 0.5 or 0.5%, and depending on how much your volume is, you can get that down over time. So what I'm going to be doing here is placing an order here for 0.01 of a Bitcoin, and I'm going to put the limit price down at, I'm going to start at 19,000, but I'm not going to do exactly 19,000 because everyone else is going to be doing exactly 19,000. So I'm going to be like doing like 19,000 and like $11, okay? Gonna go ahead and put that in. Your limit order has been placed, all right? So I'm gonna do increments of 0.01, and I am going to be just kind of honestly picking like random numbers as I wanna scale into this. And I'm picking random numbers mainly because of the fact that I don't want to be setting my buy orders where everyone else is setting their buy orders. So that's why I'm just picking like these random numbers of where I'm placing my buy orders. And I encourage other people to do that too, because what happens is if you, for example, put your buy order in at a price and there's a bunch of other people that also have it at that price, technically Bitcoin can hit that price and your order wouldn't even be filled. So something to always keep in mind. So 19,890, let's see here. I'm gonna start going into the 20,000, 111. Let's see, 20,000, let's see, 341, 20,488. So I'm just slowly going up, putting in, just random numbers because that's how I prefer to set my buy orders. 20,899. All right, so now I'm gonna start moving into the $21,000 range, $21,004. So you get the idea. You understand here what my strategy is going into this. So that is one thing that I like to do, and I sometimes don't take the time to do it, but I think it's worth it because this is a way to almost like dollar cost average a bit if Bitcoin pulls back significantly. So you're not gonna get the very bottom, you're not gonna get the very top, you're gonna get somewhere in that range, and you're putting yourself in a good position to have as much of your order filled as possible. So for example, I talk about Bitcoin going between like 19 and 23,000, kind of sort of in that range. And if you just wanted to buy one Bitcoin, and let's say you put it at like 20,000, you'd be super bummed if Bitcoin hit 21,000 and your order didn't get filled. But if you staggered it out, at least, between that and like between 20 and 21,000, then you're gonna have part of your order filled, right? So you're gonna feel like you're not missing out on the opportunity. So that's one of my strategies. I hope that it helps you. And if you're enjoying my content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and check out other links down below, like Celsius and BLOCKFI, to support my channel. So that's all I have for you today as I go out there and create a portfolio that you love.